And thanks to Coach Moore and Murray for the all-access pass. Well, Athens is all muscle in the TVC, but the Bulldogs will face a much tougher field in the Division II sectional tournament. And Galley Academy, who the Bulldogs beat in December, was the first roadblock for the TVC champs on Tuesday. And Athens reporter Aaron Laviole was out at Logan, who covering the Bulldog all season long. And really, the start of this game was a very slow-paced game, and we talked about this earlier in the year. Athens likes to slow it down, but Galley Academy's Ethan Moore gets things started with a three-pointer, but then you see Colin Foff. He did it all for them during the regular season. Tuesday was no different. He got things started for the Bulldogs.
So, Rob, the game like you said, started off very, very slow. Athens was only up 7-5 after the first quarter. But then they really started to speed things up a little bit. There you see Frank Valentor got a block on John Troster, who's 2 inches taller than him. And you see there's Dean Maffin with a three-point shot. He had a huge game for them. He had 13 points. And I've said it once, I'll say it again. Athens may have liked to slow it down earlier, but now they can speed it up too. But you know what? They can play both the transition and the set slower offense. There's Corey Butcher with the layup. You know what? Teams don't know what to expect from them. And there's Dean Maffin in down the center again. And in the fourth quarter, the starters didn't play at all. It was all juniors showing their stuff and seeing what they can do, showing their depth for next year.
And really, that's going to be something that'll be important here. You see Trey Harris, he's the quarterback on the team, getting it done inside. And then finally, Ian Frampton going to bounce pass it across the lane. Johnny Young for the layup. But they win this one, Athens do. 48 to 23, the final. Same margin as it was in the regular season. And you saw Dean Maffin a lot in those highlights. It was important to see a junior and some of the sophomores come out, especially in the fourth quarter, and see that depth, especially in the postseason.
Absolutely. It shows that, you know what, they're not just going to do well this season and then disappear next season. And the thing with Dean Maffin, he was a starter this year the entire year. He always had a big play, a big steal, a big three-pointer. And every single game he played, he just didn't get enough of the shine. If you know, he's really going to be the leader next year with the most experience. And obviously the other juniors showed that they can hang with teams as well.
And you were out that game at Logan, and really, did you see that the Athens Bulldogs, were they locked and loaded to make a deep postseason run?
Oh, absolutely. I talked to senior Jimmy Herpy after the game. He talked about how the seniors, they always have wanted to get to the convo, and this is their last chance. They've been with each other for 4 years now, and they have the mindset to get there. Nothing's going to stop them.
I mean, and that you mentioned the next matchup for them is a game against Warren, and for more on that, the Bulldogs are just a win away from playing back in Athens, but this time on the floor of the Convocation Center in the campus of Ohio University. And Mark Pierce joins us from Logan with coverage of Athens versus Warren with the sectional title on the line. Mark, take it away.
Well, Rob, you see behind me, there's a rim, there's no net, because the net's already got cut down, but not by the Bulldogs. Unfortunately, they were upended tonight by the Warren Warriors, 55-53. This ends the season for the Warriors, for the Bulldogs, but it was an unbelievable game. Back and forth. Athens jumped out to an early lead, 24-12, right at the very beginning of the second quarter. But the Warriors came back and had it real close at halftime. Come out the third and fourth quarter, unbelievably close. Lead changes all over the place. Austin Cunningham led the Warriors with 26 points, and that's remarkable. He's shooting from everywhere on the floor, and even had to deal with a little bit of crowd noise, but came, silenced the crowd. His most important shot out of those 26 points, 3 seconds to go, 53 tie ball game, and shoots a mid-range jumper to end the game, 55-53. And I know you're going to appreciate that, Rob, because, well, you always say the mid-range jumper is a lost art in basketball, but Austin used it tonight to his benefit. Colin Foff and Frank Valentor, they end their careers here, their high school basketball careers. They each scored 14 points and did their best to propel their team to a victory. Talked to Coach Skinner after the game, and he was unbelievably impressed and proud of his senior class.
I'm incredibly proud of my seniors. And it's like I told the newspaper guy, you know, sometimes you have senior classes that just about put you out of business because they're so frustrating. This senior class was so good that it almost makes you not want to coach again, because I'm not sure how it could get any better than those 7 kids.
But to wrap things up, Rob, well, it just wasn't the Bulldogs' night. They did a lot of things well. They did a lot of things to win this game, but it just wasn't in the cards. They snapped their 17-game win streak and 18-2, but they win their first conference title, and they have a lot to be proud of. So for the last time, back to you, Rob.
All right, great stuff. Thanks, Mark. For all the playoff bracket breakdowns, woub.org/heroes is your one-stop shop for TVC playoff basketball. Video recaps, up-to-the-minute scores, feature content, and much more are available to you. If you're itching to tell us your thoughts about our show or about a TVC team, send us an email at heroes@wb.org and give us a shout. Also, if you missed our last show, Nelsonville-York reporter Maddie Kuhn sat down with the Cox family to find out how basketball is more than just a sport in their family. And while the Bulldogs have already played 2 playoff contests, Alexander has to wait until Saturday to see their first playoff action. The Spartans will face River Valley, who upended TVC rival Wellston Tuesday in Athens for a shot at the sectional championship. And for a playoff preview, let's talk to Blake Brody. And Blake, River Valley is the 10th-seeded team. Should the Spartans be on upset alert?
You know, that's a legit question, Rob. Anybody who's followed Alexander all year long knows they're a Jekyll and Hyde team who can look great one game and then lose to a team they should handle the next. With River Valley being a 4-14 team, you'd think the Spartans can cruise into the semifinals. But with their up-and-down play and the fact that they'll be without guard Michael Chapman, who dislocated his elbow versus Vinton County, then you really never know. With that being said, Coach Gabriel did tell me that they have had their best week of practice this week all year, and they're very excited of the playoffs and the do-or-die nature that comes with it. And also they're excited about a chance to start fresh, because they know the season didn't go according to plan. But Rob, what can erase the taste of a poor regular season? A strong postseason, and that's exactly what Alexander's going to try and do.
Absolutely. And scouting River Valley a little bit, the team is very small, but is that going to change the Spartans' game plan as far as what they do?
Yeah, Alexander does have a huge size advantage in this game, with River Valley's tallest player only being 6'1". So expect to see a lot of Jack Hart in this one, a 6'8" center for the Spartans. But overall, they aren't going to change their game plan up too much from what they've done all season. They're still going to push the ball up the court, attack the basket, and play pressure defense. But they do know that with the zone defense, that River Valley plays, that they will have to have strong perimeter shooting from Bobo and Meadows. And if they're on from downtown, then Alexander should definitely prevail. But it's nice to know that if they aren't making shots, they do have an anchor down low in Jack Hart they can get it to. When I look over the matchups of both teams and what they're going to try and do, I do look at Alexander to be a team with more weapons. They have more size in all spots on the court, and I think they're going to have what it takes to move on to the sectional semifinals against the winner of Western Sardinia and North Adams. So, Rob, book the ticket for that one. That will be next Sunday at the Convo, March 7th. So get ready for that one. It should be fun.
Absolutely. And one more thing to look at for River Valley. If you didn't see it in the box score, only 4 players cracked the books for River Valley. So that's something if you're a Spartan fan rather, should be licking your chops for just an absolute lockdown on defense. Thanks, Blake.
Yep, no problem, Rob.